guys have all heard it. The real estate market is changing. There's all kinds of things, all kinds of stuff in the news about buyers, agents, commissions. Today, we're going to talk about the buyers and sellers mindset, the thing that matters. And truly, this one's about sellers mindset when it goes to putting a home on the market, pricing it, and all the things. But we can't get there without talking about the buyer's mindset. And being plugged in and talking to professionals every day in the market, I cannot wait to bring this to you because it's so important and it's a hard time, it's a confusing time. So we're going to dial it in for buyers and sellers and hopefully get somewhere with this one today. So stay tuned and we'll dive in. What's up, guys? Jeremy Kane, eXp Realty. I'm going to get right into this one today. As we've seen the market shift and we have record high interest rates, and for the time, I understand they used to be 10 and 12 and 18%, but for what we're looking at now, we're really worried about affordability. We have super high prices from the appreciation growth, especially after COVID, and now we have high interest rates. So these payments are pushing to unforeseen levels, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 house payments, in the average price point here in the Denver area. So it is a concern. Affordability is real as the economy does its thing and kind of ebbs and flows, and the numbers say one thing, but the feeling on the ground is the other. We're going to really dial that in because it's a reality when sellers go to price a home. When sellers go to price a home, they have to think about what the buyer's psychology looks like and what the buyer is feeling. Currently, right now, as mentioned, buyers are looking at higher mortgage rates, so their mortgage payment is higher year to year. In Colorado, we have insurance issues because we've had fires and hail and all of that. So insurance premiums are on the rise. Oh yeah, let's throw in the higher taxes because some of Tabor's worn off, as well as, the home prices and appreciation is catching up to those tax bills. That's coming. That's something you'll hear a lot about over the next couple of months, maybe a little bit of a reprieve for a couple of years or something, and then we'll have this same conversation, but probably we'll be seeing an increase in our tax bill. So if insurance is up, taxes are up, interest rates are up. Those are three variables that affect. So that's where the buyer's mind is okay, how am I gonna do this? It's still better than renting. They're ready to go. They're not in a home, right? The move up crowd is really pinched right now. As an agent, that's almost a market that's not even an option. The only people that are moving and selling their home are the people that have to, unless they, have a really good deal. We can find an assumable, or they have some inside knowledge where we can put something together. But other than that, that's where it's at. So we got first-time home buyers, people that have to move, divorce, death, even downsizing is tough right now because of the rates. So the buyers are really picky, right? And they're looking at low inventory, but we're also seeing that mortgage application rate really drop because either they're looking and they just can't find anything that would work at the price that they're going to have to pay, or they're priced out of the market and in a comfortable position, and they can rent. You can rent for cheaper right now, so to speak, on a month-to-month basis. It's just the long term where that's really the most expensive thing you possibly could be doing is renting a home. So that's the buyer's mindset. So with that said, how do we price a home? How do we bring a home to market as a seller? First off, we all know the overpricing trap. It's actually real right now. Before, when we were doing our thing and we could just throw, spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks, we could price at the top of the market and get 20, 30, 50,000 over. That's gone, at least in this Denver market and the suburbs, right? Denver and the suburbs is my jam. If you like what you're hearing, please throw me a like, subscribe to my channel. I bring stuff like this to you guys for educational purposes because I know that the media and everything kind of sways things. So as we kind of dive down the overpricing trap, right now, overpriced listings are just not going because the buyers, although the inventory is limited, they have options, right? Not necessarily options to go buy the next house, but options just to wait, right? Because no one's coming into this being like, hey, we're going to get you under contract right away, terminate your lease, let's move out, and go. So they have options. They can be patient as well. They can stay with a family, a friend, whoever they're staying with. They can extend their lease. Landlords are still pretty lenient about letting people out of the leases most of the time because they can still raise those rents because rents are up as well. And so overpricing is a struggle. And the problem with overpricing is we're seeing such little showings right now as it is. If you price correctly, average 1.6 showings per week for the listings that are on the market. Obviously, typically you should get a few more during that first week, but it's still taking 13 showings on average to go under contract for these properties. So that's where we have to understand, okay, we got to get people through, but overpricing, if we're just not having any showings because we're overpriced, well, is it the market? Should we be patient like Jeremy said, or are we actually overpriced? So you have to take a look at it, understand that you will see a little bit of a price decrease, and you will see a ton of headlines. Oh, the market's crashing, prices are going down, home prices are decreasing, whatever they say. That's normal for our seasonality. We usually see this, and this for appreciation this year is going to actually be fairly normal, a little bit under average, but still appreciating in that Denver market. So we have to price it right so that we can get appropriate data in order to, get the home moved and sold. So if we're overpriced, it's not like people will still look and see what they can do. That's gone. We have to be priced correctly because of the cost of everything. A lot of people are shopping at the upper end of their approval or comfortability range. So if we're overpriced, they're like, well, I can't go up another 20,000. So I'm not even going to look at that. So when we're in this mix, we have to price it correctly. And what's that look like? Maybe pricing it a little bit under what your neighbor sold for. I know that's a hit to the ego, but let's not forget what your home was worth 3 years ago, right? Let's look at that appreciation and be like, okay, that's kind of crazy appreciation. I'm still getting a major benefit over the average. So let's price it, kind of fairly. And so you look at the quality of the home, that's the biggest thing that people come to me is they say, okay, well, that home sold for this. Well, did you look at the pictures? No, I've never been in it and I've never seen it. Well, it had a fully updated kitchen and, all the walls knocked out, open floor plan, updated light fixtures, everything was updated to the nines, and you haven't updated your house since 1990. So as the low inventory and the high interest rates come, we have to price it smarter and not just harder, right? We can't go for that record. The only way to get your home bid up is price it a little bit below even market value and see if we can drive a ton of traffic, maybe have an open house, a party, whatever we got to do to get people through there. We're doing videos. We're doing everything we possibly can to market this property on opening weekend to get the interest out there. Get as many people through. I'm hearing right now that we're seeing 1 or 2 showings, but maybe 7 people go through the open house. That's absolutely, what we have to do to get foot traffic. That's what we're going to do as long as you're comfortable with that. And so if we're driving that energy, we're getting, the social media out there, it's blasting all the social medias, everybody in our groups blasting out everything we can to get that in front of the most people, because you never know who that's going to find. So as a listing agent, you have to work harder to find those buyers as it's not just like throw it in the MLS and sit back and kick your feet up. And so we do have to make those adjustments as agents, and the good agents are doing that. So make sure if you are listing your home and for some reason you haven't hit me up, make sure that you're asking these questions. And what's your marketing strategy? What are we going to actually do to get this home sold, regardless of if it takes 4 to 6 weeks? But what are you going to do to get me to where I want to do and get me the most for my money? And it might not be the price you absolutely want. You have to cut those emotional ties, price it smarter, not harder. So we have to take a strategic approach to pricing. We have to make it right out of the gate. So we have to look at the data and we have to understand that your home that doesn't have a finished basement and this home that has a finished basement probably are not on par, or 3-car garage versus 2-car garage, or whatever it is. We're going to compare everything and really dial it in. And I pride myself on going out to the house, looking at it before there's actually a pre-printed document in my hand saying this is what your home is worth. We're going to look at everything you've done to the home, every upgrade, every downgrade, everything that you've done, how old your appliances is, what's your roof shape, sewer line, all the things. And we're going to make sure that we price it appropriately, because I have to argue every single time the price we get with the appraisal. So if I meet the appraiser out there, which I do, I want to be confident that I can get this price through so that we're not all the way 3-4 weeks down the road and then run into a hiccup. And so that's huge. And we have to remove the emotions a little bit. Trust me, I want to get as much for your home as possible, and we will do that, and we will market our hearts out for it. but we have to be strategic and remove the emotions. So as a complex market, we have to understand that it changes too, right? Interest rates could go up, they could go down, it could change all things as we go. So we have to adjust on the fly. If interest rates tick up, that means the affordability goes down and the buyer pool is going to shrink even further than it already is at record low mortgage application rates. So we need buyers to come through. And if we're going to get the home bid up, which is great and sounds great, but there is absolutely no promises for that. We have to be strategic about opening weekend. We have to get people through there. And then we have to be patient. We have to have confidence that we've priced it right because we have the data and we can actually go to an appraiser and say, this is what it's worth. And that's the biggest key right now. Over the last, I talk to a ton of agents every day and they're like, well, what do I do? I've had these 3, I can't get them. They're kicking my ass. Like, what am I going to do? Well, you just have to be patient, right? If you're priced right, you're strategic, you're staged right, all the updates have been made, you're listening to the feedback and you're making little tweaks here and there, just be patient. It's a different market. Average 27 days on market. Could have been on the market for 100 days. It is what it is. But if we're doing what we have to do, we can get this job done and we can get it done correctly. And so that's the whole point, is be patient, understand the mindset of the buyer, understand that they, get beat up daily when that interest rate ticks up. So as a seller, you have to be able to adapt to that and do the things, even if you go under contract, right? Understand that the buyer is probably going to come and be like, hey, I need a new furnace because that 40-year-old furnace, I know it's working right now, but I don't have the money with my payment to do it. So you have to be flexible and you have to be understanding that you have a part in this affordability issue and you can help. And are we really going to kill a $750,000 transaction over a $2,500 HVAC fix or a $1,500 water heater? Like, we have to understand the amount we've gained. We have to get this deal done. Once you have a fish on the line, you still have to sell the home because 1 in 4 are falling out of contract, cold feet, loan issues, inspection, just can't do all the work or whatever. And so as a seller, we have to adapt and make sure that we're doing everything we can to keep this together so that we can move on from this house. You put your house in the market so you can move. And so that's the biggest thing. And it's not an easy market. It's not easy to understand. We have high interest rates. We have low inventory. We have frustrated, exhausted buyers. And we have sellers that have to understand that you hold the keys still in a seller's market because of the appreciation and all the things. But in order to get a deal done, you have to come with the right mindset. You have to be strategic. And you have to look at the big picture and understand, okay, a $5,000 concession so that they can buy down the rate just a little bit, or a $20,000 concession so they can buy down the rate just a little bit, could be something that we can push forward so that we can quit making mortgage payments on that house and move on to the next home or move on to your relocation or whatever you're doing. And so hear me out. You will get a good price for your home in the Denver market. The appreciation over the last 3 years, 40%, you're still winning. The average is 6%, and we went up 44% in 2.5 years. So you're still winning, and I understand, okay, well, maybe you didn't own the house that whole time. You still had an appreciation. And if you're putting your house in the market with a real estate agent, paying commission, paying the costs and things like that, you're still winning, unless you're in a distressed situation. There was one distressed sale last month. So understand that that's not coming back either, because people have the low interest rates, they can make these payments. And so that's the reason that the inventory is limited. So hope this helped. I know I went through a lot of stuff there, but the seller's mindset has to be from a team, empathetic, kind of let's get this done. And then you have to have your boundaries, right? Okay, well, yeah, I'm only willing to give it away at this price, or, whatever. It's not going to be a fire sale. It's not anything crazy like that. Your home hasn't lost 10% in value this year. In fact, it's probably gone up. However, we may have to play, in that 1 to 3% range of giving a little bit of a discount if we're going to get it moved, before the spring. And there is no promise for spring, right? I talked to a lender today. She thinks that interest rates probably will be above 7 for 2024. No light at the end of the tunnel for these high rates, which drastically impacts, our buyer pool and things like that. So have any questions, like what you heard, like, comment, subscribe. You can always reach me on Instagram, JKCO Realtor _, or give me a call, 303-210-0378. There's also a link below if you want to book a call and just jam out, put everything on the table and have a strategy session. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.